Hello, I am Jean-François Denise. I am part of the WildFly team. Today I'm going to show you how you can monitor and troubleshoot a WildFly server using AI. That is the second video on the topic. You can have a look to the first video on our WildFly YouTube channel. So today I'm going to use the WildFly chatbot to interact with WildFly server using under the hood the MCP protocol. So we are first going to ask simple questions, then I will increase the complexity of the tasks and see how the chatbot managed to help us. So here is the chatbot. It's a WildFly application that for this particular demo is interacting with Mistral small LLM. So you have a text field there to input your questions, and you have some buttons that we will discover during the demo. So first, simple question. So with this kind of chatbot, you expect to be able to ask for the status of your WildFly server. So we can see that the chatbot is prompting me. Is trying to invoke some tools, some operation in order to answer the question I asked. That is what we call MCP tools. And the WildFly chatbot actually use the WildFly MCP server, as I said, under the hood, to interact with WildFly. So the WildFly MCP server implements a set of tools that we are thinking that are of interest for chat models to be able to manage and monitor WildFly servers. So I'm going to accept this tool execution, and we can see that we have everything seems okay. No problem at boot and no deployment errors. So I want to know the version of my server and my JVM. Again, it is calling some tools. I am accepting. And we can see that we are running WildFly 35, running on JDK 21. So instead of typing questions, there are some prompts. So you click on the prompt buttons, and here we have a list of common tasks you are expected to do with this kind of tooling. So what is the resource consumption? Do we have some deployment errors? Chart some Prometheus metrics? Do a security audit? And a general server status. So let's ask for a general server status. We can see that this time, in addition to some other tools I already accepted, is trying to retrieve the last 100 lines of the server log. And it seems that all is okay. He found an expected trace that says that your server started with no issues. I'm going to use one of the predefined prompt to check if there are some deployment errors. It appears that there are not, but just make sure that we are all fine with respect to deployments. It seems that it takes a bit of time to compute this answer. We are going to give it a bit more time. It is accessing also the log file. It says that there is no error, and it didn't check web.xml, neither jboss web.xml. So here I am going to access my application, and actually there is an error when I access it. So I'm going to ask again if he can check for deployment errors. And this time we have an exception in the log. So you should discover it and analyze the exception. So we can see that you want to look into the content of my deployment. He is accessing to the web.xml, jboss web.xml. Let's see what he managed to find out. Okay, so we find out that there is a null pointer exception, that the web.xml seems well configured. We have the jboss web.xml that define a demo security domain, and it advises us to check that, among other things, that the security domain is configured correctly in the WildFly server. So I'm going to ask him to check if the demo security domain is properly configured in my configuration. So it accesses the configuration, and he says that it's not properly configured. However, it explains some other thing. Okay, so at least it pinpoints my problem, and I know what needs to be done. So I am going to write in English, to invoke the CLI operation. So I am not going to ask it to invoke directly the operation, but I'm going to write a sentence that it should understand as resolvable thanks to a CLI operation. So, could you add a new application security domain named demo security domain to Undertow? So our Undertow subsystem. So demo security domain, application security domain, must have its security domain parameter set to secdomain GDBC. Then could you reload the server? We will see what he managed to do with that. So it seems that first shot he managed to do it. So he wants to invoke the CLI operation on the subsystem Undertow. He wants to add the demo security domain with the right parameter. So I'm going to accept it. And he wants to reload the server. Okay, so he managed to do it successfully. So let's check my application. I am going to reload. And I was able to access it. So one tip, if you know WildFly CLI operation syntax, you can directly type it in the chatbot, and you bypass the LLM and you interact directly with the WildFly server. So it can be an interesting thing to check some stuff, because this kind of technology for now doesn't answer 100% of the time accurately. So we have a lot of to do on our side to train some models and do some more to have a better user experience, better answers, but invoking CLI operation can be interesting in some cases. And finally, I would like to show you an interesting feature is the report generation. So we had multiple interaction with the LLM, we had some data that has been generated. It can be interesting to archive or to analyze with other tooling what happened. And this is what I am going to do. I am asking the LLM to generate a report. So this report generation is going to output two files, a summary in Markdown and everything that has been exchanged in JSON format and generated on the file system. So let's see what kind of report it is going to generate. Okay, so per timestamp, we have a summary of what the user did and a summary of what the assistant did or said. So let's check What happened about the configuration? Do we have the demo security domain? The assistant informed the user that the demo is not configured, however there is, and blah blah blah. So there is an interesting summary. The user asks to what. So we have all the various exchange and stored inside a markdown report that you will also find on the file system. Okay, so thank you, and I hope you will have interesting experience with this chatbot. Goodbye, and see you soon during the WildFly mini conference that we have next Wednesday, in which I will provide much more details on what is going on in this project, how we have implemented, what is MCP, and so on. And I will do that with my colleague Emmanuel Hugonnet. Thank you very much.